Hello everybody, in this video I want to go over some parts of the trailer. We're going to use screenshots from the Cyberpunk 2077 photo mode trailer to explain to you the different options if in case you find it a bit confusing. So basically we have different options including camera, depth of field, pose, effect, stickers, load and save. With the camera you can choose the camera type, the presets, we can change the field of view. We can have a narrower field of view or a wider field of view, which changes just the angle which we actually see the scene. So if you choose a wider field of view, you're gonna see more of the scene, both mainly horizontally, but also in vertical axis. The other thing is rotate, which allows you to just rotate the camera, so you can point into different areas in the scene. Very simple, but very easy to control. If you use, for example, drone, you can just take the camera up and down, just positioning it a bit above the scene or maybe in a lower positioning, so you get kind of a more dramatic look, maybe over a character from down location. Now the next one is depth of field, and this actually controls the amount of blurring, both for the background and foreground. You can see here on the lag, this area. See here, this area, you can see it's blurry as well, because the depth of field also affects both the background and the foreground, so it's not just background blur that you're gonna see. We have also auto focus on. Maybe you can manually focus on certain areas. For example, we want to focus on design instead of the character. We can actually decide to do this by just setting it manually and choose any area on the image where we want the focus to be. And if I'm going to explain the aperture first, and then I'm going to explain how it actually works together. The aperture, it depends. The smaller the aperture volume, the narrower the depth of field, and the more pronounced is the blur effect. So if you want to achieve a very blurry effect, you're going to go with a lower volume. And if you want to get less blur, you're going to increase this volume up. But the thing is, you need to consider the fact that if you use smaller volumes, and just point, for example, on the person's face, you might get that other areas, for example, here you can see the shoe is also blurred. So if you want this area of the leg not to be blurred, you need to increase the aperture, so more areas will appear sharper in the image. Again, depends what you want to achieve. You can actually turn this on and off altogether and see how it looks and see what you like, and just maintain the specific look that you like. Now the pose is pretty cool. This is the pose of the character, as you can see. So here we have the different categories which you can choose. So it's very easy to navigate. Probably there are plenty of poses available, so just categorize them. This is idle, so one of the options is for the pose is, as you can see here, is V for victory. Alright, but you can see here the character, you can see here the character posing V for victory. So maybe if you kill a boss or something and you want to kind of show that, or achieve something amazing, well, you can just use this pose and and show off your achievement. There's also expression, which is face expression. This one is natural, but you can change it to, for example, angry, if you like. I'll show you another one. For example, each one are not angry, anger. Sorry. So you can see here the facial expression is anger, right? Because here you can see anger is chosen for the face expression. Now you can actually rotate the character as well. You can also make it pose either left or right. Close fire is a zoom. You can actually zoom in or out. So if you move it further to the right, it's going to zoom in. Less is going to be, on the opposite. If you move it left, you're going to be closer. If you move it right, it'll be further away. From the, in this case, from the where the scene is actually, where the camera is pointing at. Character visible, you can actually hide your character. If for example you don't want your character to be in the scene, you just want whatever there is in the scene, not you in it, you can actually make it invisible by just toggling this option off. So if it's off, the character won't show here in the scene. So again, different options for your character. And again, people enjoy, by the way, having to customize the character, although many complain that because it's not third person, this is actually, they feel like, why do I customize my character if I can actually see it? Well, I'm not going to open this discussion here, but what I'm saying is that, well, now we can actually show off your character in at least in this photo mode for others to see. Now this one is the effects tab. This one is actually very cool. Let's go over the option here. This gives you control over, this is the image editing option basically. It allows you to change the exposure. I'm just going to use it in Photoshop because of course I don't have the game right now. So I'm going to show you what exposure can do. Of course it will depends. I'm going to do exposure in Photoshop. Just increase the exposure. You can see you can change the exposure, make it darker. But of course it will look much better and different in the game itself, in the photo mode. The other thing is contrast, changing the contrast. Something I can do in Photoshop as well. Just increasing the contrast, lowering the contrast. This is an option you can also apply. Highlights, again, if there are highlights areas, you can actually make them appear less pronounced or more pronounced. So you actually exaggerate the white in the image. Something you can do as well. Highlights, vignette is just again creating a vignette in the image. So you're gonna see kind of a blurry, dark, rounded border around the image, which actually I use sometimes when I want to focus, have a focus on something, for example, in the center of the frame. I use it, and it helps to create more dramatic effect as well. Something you can play around with. Again, you can increase the number, and the vignette will be more pronounced, and you can decrease it and it'll be less pronounced until it's not visible at all. Now, chromatic aberration is kind of a color distortion effect that increase the blue and red, creative blue and red aura, and it can really look nice in certain images. Something you can play around with. A grain creates kind of more less smooth and more dotty, kind of a dusty looking image, and again something that you can create if you just don't like the very smooth look of it and you want to create kind of maybe a film like look for your image. You can use grain for it. Again, you can control it. Now it's 0, but you can increase it to create a more prominent effect. All right. Now these effects, by the way, it looks really cool. This one, the last one, there are plenty of effects you can actually play with. But here you can see, for example, effect 13. This is how it looks, right? If you change, you just go to effect 14. This is how it looks, effect 14. You go to effect 11. This is how it looks. Very stylized effect. This is black and white. So if you want a chromatic one, you can just choose effect 7, and that's how it will look. And 8 will look like this, kind of poisonous, but again looks really cool. 9, this is how it looks. Oh, this is actually this is regarding the frame, but I'm going to show it a bit later. This is 6, reddish. This is 5. This one I really like, especially how they actually configure this one. Looks really cool. So again, you have different options here, which allows you to really edit the image to make it look the way you want it to look. Now, stickers, like the name suggests, well, allows you to put stickers in your image. Actually, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stickers. You can turn them off or just choose the one that you like. And there are different ones. I'm going to show you a few of them that appear in the trailer. This one, and this one. And I think you can actually position them by just maybe dragging them around. But I haven't seen anything that gives that option. Let me see. Change value. Move sticker. Yeah, you can actually move this. Just see. You see at the left side, you have the option here. Move sticker. So you can actually move sticker, even rotate it. You can scale it. So cool. You have the an option to actually do this. Great. Now the last option, you can actually load and save it. So if you want to continue editing it later on, you can actually continue working. It's like working on the same image that you work on with all the effects set up. You can just load it again. You can save it and then come again and maybe change something if you didn't like it. Again, if you want to take a screenshot, you can see you have different options here. Exit photo mode, show hide UI. So you can actually add the UI to see how the image will look without all these UI elements. Take it screenshots and select category. This is for the category. Depends on the menu that you're in. You're going to have different options available for you, so you can know actually how you can actually control the different options using in this case the mouse and the keyboard. So overall, lots of options, but I'm pretty sure they're going to add more later on down the road. But this is plenty to play with. Again, it should be simple, not complicated. Something you can play around with pretty fast with a few sliders and toggle on buttons and come up with some really cool looking images. So overall, I think that did an incredible job, and I can't wait to play it myself, play with it myself. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. If you know anything more about the photo mode, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.